Come on in the room. Come on in the room. Bucks win it again. 125-110 over the Utah Jazz. Game 2 of the 4-game West Coast trip. And the Bucks are getting it done. Another 15-point victory. So just one slip up against the Clippers the other night. Back to their winning ways. That's 8 of the last 10, 9 of the last 11. However you want to take it. Bucks are doing what they're supposed to do. Come on in the room. Doc is our doctor. He writes on all scripts and gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. It's the Cream City crossover group. Trick on the third.
Justin.
Yeah, man, in the building, doing what we do. Another, it's 11:45 on the East Coast. It's 10:45 if you're in Milwaukee. So let's do it. This is a Bucks After Dark. It's another Bucks After Dark edition of the Cream City crossover. Glad you joined us, talking with us. And man, we just have some fun like we always do in here at the Triple C's. 125-110, Bucks get the dub. Get at me on the chat. If you're with us tonight on the YouTube, get at us on the Twitter at TCIIESQ. We'll read your comments. We'll talk about what you saw tonight, what we saw tonight in a 125-110 victory over the Utah Jazz. And hey, maybe we'll do it in under an hour and a half tonight. Let's see how this thing goes. Justin looking at me. Game recap. Let's recap this thing. How about Giannis and Dame? 35 points, 18 boards, 7 assists for Giannis, 2 steals, 16 of 23. That's 70% from the field. Only blipped tonight. He was 3 of 10 from the free throw line. So I don't know. Maybe you got to get back to Intuit Dome and get that wall going back. You got to count for Giannis. Again, he finished with 35. That's a 40-point night if he shoots a regular percentage from the free throw line. Plus 19 for Giannis tonight. Absolutely dominant performance. Let's go to the other dominant performance. 41 minutes tonight from Damian Lillard. 35, 8, and 5 for Mr. Lillard. He's coming off back-to-back triple doubles. Got close tonight. Did his thing. Came with some rebounds shy and a couple assists shy. He was 14-22 from the field. Excellent percentage, 4 of 10 from the 3-ball, 3 of 4 from the line. He was a +9. Damian Lillard getting downhill has been a constant theme for him over the past few few games. Well, not a few games. Over this past season, really. And it just looks night and day. We talked about this. Night and day from what he looked like last year, where he's just so aggressive. And not just the three-point shot. It's the start and stop. It's the burst. It's getting to the basket. It's the deceleration. It's the acceleration. All that from Damian Lillard. You're seeing it from him. How about Andre Jackson Jr.? Really good night tonight. 6 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. Andre Jackson Jr., he's one of the guys where you look up at the Knicks and you watch like a Josh Hart play, and it's just all the hustle, all the loose balls, every team needs a guy like that. And hey, maybe mix in a flagrant 2 and get kicked out the game 2. You need a guy like that on your team. And he's that guy. He's not afraid to mix it up. Really good job. I mean, this game was never in the balance, if you will. But Utah kept it, semi-respectable. And that was a beautiful play in the fourth quarter where he got on the floor, got to the ball, kept it in bounds, and started a fast break. I think that ended with the alley-oop slam for, as JT would say, he got his girls with him, alley and oop. And it ended in that for the Bucks. Beautiful job. Taurean Prince tonight, 6 points, 4 boards. I did not, man, was that a quiet 8 assists? I did not see 8 assists. It was interesting. 8 assists for Taurean Prince. Good job. The story tonight, however, was Khris Middleton. After a terrible performance against the Clippers, he goes 22 tonight, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 10 of 13 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. So his only misses were from 3. Interesting, he's only a +2, but an excellent job from Khris tonight. Bounce back night for him. Gary Trent Jr. struggled 8 points. Say again?
I don't mean to stop you in the rundown, but if Khris gonna play that good, can we call him Cash the entire post-game?
Hey, he was Cash tonight. Cash money. Yeah, we call him Cash. When you ball like that, you deserve to be called Cash. Ryan Rollins, 7 minutes tonight. Ryan Rollins, it seems like, I don't want to say he's taking a step back, but it seems like he's lost a little momentum for what he's trying to do. And he's out there kind of just running around at this point. And you got to be better than just a guy running around. Got to start making some impact plays. Pat Connaughton, 7 minutes as well. 3 points, 3 rebounds for him. Let's go to Utah. Lauri Markkanen, 19 points, 9 boards for himself. Potter, 3 points, 4 rebounds. Drew Eubanks, 4 points, 10 boards. Colin Sexton, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Collier with 12 points, 8 assists. Kyle Filipowski looking like a baby back bitch. Giannis was just dominating him, just knocking them all around the floor. You better go back to Duke with all that stuff. 6 points, 8 boards, 3 assists for him. Kante George, 15 points tonight. Wasn't it Sensible?
Yes, it's a ball.
Man, he hit some threes tonight. He was 5-8 from 3, 6-9 from the field, 17 points. And then Jordan Clarkson threw up some prayers and got to 13-5. A little bit of what I saw tonight, man. I thought that the Bucks. It was one of those nights. It was I think you call this like a professional win. We've used that term before. I think Doc Rivers used that term. They used it on the broadcast. It was a professional win for the Milwaukee Bucks. It's you see it. We have it. Here Monday night in Utah, where it's one of those Monday nights in Utah. It's January the 7th. This is, one of those games you're inching up closer and closer to the All-Star weekend. And, you're just trying to find that motivation to go out there and play. And I thought the Bucks lacked it for a little bit. I thought Giannis, especially in that first quarter, for the first 3 or 4 minutes, really just, I don't know what he was doing, couldn't find himself. I think him and Dame combined for 4 turnovers in the first few minutes of that ball game, whatever it was. But he got it back going, maybe because he saw Kyle Filipowski and was like, you know what, let me get inside and dominate. And so he did a little bit of that and got to his game. Then he got to his step back, got to his midi, which was really good. And then I thought that Damian Lillard, again, just the aggression that he had was excellent tonight. And then you bring in on the bench, and you have Khris Middleton come in. And, I mean, again, I want to say he proved doubters wrong, because that's not how I really think about it. I think about it in terms of, what Khris Middleton can do, so you have to go out and do it. You have to go out and perform and execute. And when you don't go out and perform, when you don't execute, when you don't play at an extremely high level, people are going to talk about it, especially when you have a team that has Larry O'Brien title hopes. And they're looking for that. When you look at Giannis 35, Dame 35, you look at that and go, that is a dynamic duo. That is the highest scoring backcourt that's the highest scoring duo in the NBA. This is when you have the highest scoring duo in the NBA, and it's like by like 6 or 7 points a night. You should see a team like that. That team should compete for championships. So you have a team that is ready to compete. And you're like, well, what is preventing the Milwaukee Bucks from winning a championship? And that's what you're trying to figure out and find out. And so a night like this, Cash going for 22 and 3. And the other number that I'm really excited about for Cash, 27 minutes. 27 is the minute. He goes 27 minutes tonight, which is, you really want to see that, in my opinion, start to increase for Khris Cash Money Middleton. So a really good job for him tonight. And again, against a team that, they were outmatched, outgunned the entire night. Bucks were in some zone, just trying to make sure they could, I thought they were trying to preserve energy, but tonight was one of those nights. You just go out there, find a way to get a win. You probably wish you didn't have to play Giannis 36 minutes and Dame 41 minutes. But, it is what it is. You go out and get the win, 125, 110. I'll always take that. It's a little bit of what I saw. Justin, what'd you see?
Hey, man, before I go into what Doc see, man, I had to warm it up, Chris, to put my joint on backwards like Chris Cross did tonight, man, for the homie Khris Middleton. So happy to see what that cat did tonight. But let's talk about Doc for a second. So Glenn Doc Rivers said tonight that Clarkson hit some big threes. Those are Aaron Rodgers Hail Mary threes, but we'll call them big threes for him. GA and Dame, their scoring was just organic tonight. They did it through all facets of the offense tonight, and it was just a beautiful thing to watch. Khris had a great game, but Doc made sure to preface it with, that doesn't mean that he's going to come out against Portland and have a great game, or the next time he plays, and it doesn't mean he's going to come out and stink it up either. He knows who Khris Middleton is, and hopefully what we all hope as Bucks fans, if this brother's still on this team, is that previous game was just an outlier. Ajax, he said he's one of the fastest guys in the NBA, believe it or not. And they're going to do a lot more with him grabbing that ball and pushing it the way that he did tonight. And we saw him do it. We saw him also dribbling to a bad turnover doing that. But I think he used to do a lot of that in his UConn days. So that was awesome to see, man. On the flagrant foul, Doc thought that Karl Malone would be pissed. thought that John Stockton would be pissed. I didn't think it was a flagrant foul. I thought it was this is the thing, right? You foul a dude lightly, he gets an and one on you. So you got to stop the momentum. And yeah, Sexton fell on the ground, but he's a little dude. So he's going to fall on the ground. Doc thought that they wanted to get Ajax or Sexton, one of them. They were waiting for a time to get those guys off the floor because they were getting a little bit chippy back and forth. It was a blowout. Hey, man, shout out to the homie. I think his name is Mr. Biggs 4131. Talking with this cat today on Bleacher Report. I think Andre Jackson Jr. tonight shows why he's in that dunk contest. And let's not sleep on him on this dunk contest. He did win the 2023 Collegiate Slam dunk contest, by the way, man. I thought the flagrant foul like Doc's was bogus. Dame and Giannis are absolute monsters. We talk about it just a Monday night in Utah, but for me, it's bigger than that. This is only our third win in the last 24 attempts in Utah. And I don't care how good or how bad they are, we always find a way to stub our toe against those guys. So good thing. As far as, and this is kind of at your point, what you're talking about with Ryan Rollins, definitely saw the last two games have been less than his best efforts. I think it's a long season for him. This is probably the most he's played in his career outside of G League ball. So he's in a little bit of a wall, and hopefully he'll get it together. My last point on the night is what I saw was that I'm so happy we never traded for Jordan Clarkson. There were rumors for it the last 2 to 3 years. The guy, when he's on a heater, he's absolutely amazing, like anybody in the NBA. But on his normal nights, he takes some very bad shots. And I think there were several times where Markkanen was open. And I'm not just saying that because I didn't hit my parlay, but Markkanen was open. Sexton was open. And he just kind of, he makes one, and he's not going to pass it up. So if there was once a dude that, re-retired, Black Hole Bobby, and now he's balling out his pants, Big Bob on their ass Bobby now.
Balling out his pants is crazy.
Hey, yo, that might be one early.
It's crazy.
It's late, man. But Jordan Clarkson, he has to be a black hole. He gets the ball, he makes it, he doesn't stop shooting, man. And, hey, man, just great win for the Bucks. I'm happy we did it, man. I know we're going to get a lot of rhetoric that with Middleton, oh, well, it's against the Utah Jazz. As bad as he looked against the Clippers, if he would have did that against the UW Green Bay Phoenix, I would have been excited about it.
Yeah, no, that was a night that Khris needed, like, for sure. He 100% needed that. I think the fans needed that. I think everybody needed to see Khris play at that level and shoot the ball, be efficient, make good decisions. How many turnovers he had? 1 turnover tonight. Like, and again, it's the Utah Jazz. So, take everything with a grain of salt. You look at the opponent and you figure that out. But at the end of the day, like you said, it didn't matter who he played, who the Bucks played. You just need to see the ball go through the basket for Khris, and you got to see that. And I thought, again, he did it at a high level tonight. One of the things, it was a vintage Khris type of performance. But again, I got a text from my guy Danny, who he texted me before during the game, and was like, this is a game that the Bucks could find, like you talked about, being out in Utah, losing some of those games out in Utah. This is a game that last year, maybe even early in the season this year, the Bucks find ways to lose a game like this, because again, I would give Utah a little bit of credit. They hit shots. They hit the rookie hit shots. Clarkson hit shots late, and it was just one of those games where they didn't necessarily go away. The Bucks couldn't really put a pin in it, even though the Bucks were in control for pretty much the entire night. I mean, you could just see, and again, I hope Bobby's okay. Whatever is happening with him in his personal life, where he's not available for the Bucks. But I think one thing that I will say that I'll call out, and that has not gone as well as maybe people thought it would, is the Giannis minutes at the 5 from a defensive perspective. They have not been crisp. They have not been stellar. And I think, and again, one of the reasons tonight, I not just for that, but just for the defense in general, I do think they were trying to conserve energy. They went 2-3 a lot. They go 2-3 a lot anyway. But I thought they went to a little early, and I also thought that it just didn't look crisp. I thought offensively they moved the ball. That was crisp for most of the night. But defensively, I just thought there was a real lack of effort for a lot of the game. And I attribute that just to it being a Monday night in Utah. It's January 27th. It's an inferior opponent. It's a team that you could beat at any moment. Giannis could have gone for 60 if he wanted. Dame could have gone for 60 if he wanted. That was how this kind of looked. you knew you could turn it on whenever you needed to turn it on. And so again, I'll give him a pass. And you have a game tomorrow night against the Portland Trailblazers, and maybe we'll see a future Milwaukee Buck in Jeremy Grant in action. But we'll see how that plays out and what that looks like. Um, let's let's go to the chat.
You can't even let the dude ride tonight, man. You could have said that to tomorrow. We could have did a pregame video or something, man.
My bad,
Good
my
God.
bad, my bad.
Nah, you good, Brody. It's what you. That's why you the guru.
Hey,
you got to
man.
do your thing.
You know what it is. Forte says, "Come on in the room, baby." Yes, sir. Always let to be here after dub. Mustafa Hussein says, "K Mitty went crazy tonight." And he also says Dame and Freak 35 each. That did happen. Will Lincoln said Giannis snapped with those dunks, man. Holy F. Hey, that dunk, man, that dunk was crazy. Finished with the left. He put, hey, I like when I love when Giannis get the professor, throw the coat on with the mean mug. I love it. And he looked good. Quick Draw McGraw says tonight was the first time this season the Bucks look like they had a real big three. Agreed. Charles Mills is 71% shooting from Dame, Giannis, and Khris. And then let's see. DJ Droop TV says, I think I'm the only Bucks fan not sold on Rawlings. Well, I guess he went Rollins. I don't understand Doc's trust in him. And again, well, just to go to Ryan Rollins, it's not about you're trying to back up point. Who else is left? You don't have anybody. So it's either Rollins. Look at your backup guards that you have.
DeLon Wright.
Well, yeah, it's either DeLon Wright, or you're trying to play Pat Connaughton in some of a hybrid point guard role, or what wasn't working was not playing. What clearly was not working was when Khris first came back, they tried to not play a point guard at all and go Giannis, Khris, and like when Dame was out the floor, it's either Giannis or Dame, or Giannis or Khris was the point guard. That wasn't working either. That squad does need a legitimate ball handler on the floor. With them to kind of get him in and out of sets, or at least to kind of balance the floor. And tonight, Rollins has to be better, but the options. I'm just saying the options are limited in what Doc has going. So I don't know if it's a matter of trust, more so than it's a matter of I got to find a way to get through. And again, you don't like it in a regular season contest where Dame has to go 41 minutes, but in the playoffs, that's what it's going to be. Yeah, I'm trying to find a way to. I'm trying to buy if Dame's going 40, 42, 43 minutes. I'm trying to find 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes where he can rest. And again, the guy right now that I probably go to is Ryan Rollins over Pat Connaughton and certainly over DeLon Wright.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get so hard on Rollins, man. I understand he's had some bad games. He's even had some questionable moments, but I mean, the thing about it, right, Drew, because you're like myself, man, you're a Bobby fan, right? So the same way where Bobby struggles and you still don't lose faith in him, keep that same faith in Ryan Rollins, man. He's a young kid, too. This is his first real legitimate shot at NBA basketball. And I think that his plus has been a lot greater than his minus has been this year. And it's going to continue to grow that way. And you know the beautiful thing about this? There's a lot of guys that we saw as second-round picks, and this Bucks franchise over the year has developed them. The 22 on my shirt developed him. The other guy that wore 22 before him, second-round pick, Malcolm Brogdon. There's certain guys that we've done. So let's just pump the brakes on a little bit of the Rollins stuff. I get what you're saying, but like Trey said, we have no one else. DeLon Wright has shown us who he is. I'd be much happier with him thrown in a package than Marjon Beauchamp or anybody else on that bench, man, because the thing about Marjon and some of these other guys, at least they're in their early 20s, they're young. DeLon Wright was supposed to be a proven vet, a proven backup point guard, a 3-and-D guy. I ain't see the D, pause, and I definitely ain't seen the 3 this year. So where are we at with it?
I want to see the D.
Hey, late night, Bucks at the dark.
Sheesh. Go ahead.
No, that's all I got.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not gonna get too down on Rollins either. He's a young player. He's got to play through some things. So yeah, I don't have any issue with it. Sammy says, I told y'all Khris had one bad game. He ain't watched like you guys said. Stop overreacting. Put some respect on Cash Money. Again, what you can't do is swing the pendulum in the other direction and say, can't take but one bad game, overreacting, and not watch. Again, I'm also not going to go on the other camp. Khris, he's back. He's the big three. Is he? I'm not going there either. I'm not doing that with it. Wait, did I lose? You still there, Justin? Oh, I might have lost somebody. All right, y'all tell me if are we still rolling? I know I'm still here. I don't see Justin. So I don't know what happened. Oh man, where? All right, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't have Justin now, and I'm doing production again. There's no Chris King on tonight. I'm gonna see if I can get Justin back at some point here. I just don't know what happened, and nobody's telling me anything in the chat. It'd be nice if the chat would help me out right now and let me know what happened. I hope it's not like a situation where it was the other night where we were like talking over each other. That would be bad. So hopefully that's not happening. But it could just be my laptop. I'm trying to send him an email. Oh, he texted me. Let's see what he says. Oh, his Wi-Fi just crashed. Okay, so I feel better. I feel better that it's not that it is him and not me. That makes me feel better because last time it was me. Okay, so I'll keep going then. With it. Yeah. He says Justin disappointed. Okay, he's gone. Okay, all right, my bad. All right, so okay, that's better. Justin's gone. I think he'll be back if he can jump back in. We'll see if he can get it back. But the D joke got Justin banned. Right, that's basic. That's what happened. But I'll keep going and we'll see if we can get Justin back in 1 second. I'll tell him come back in when you're ready. Texas. See, like I said, I'm doing. Hey, this is me on a triple double. Production triple double, no assist tonight. Right here. So now we're back at it. For at least momentarily. Solo Guru. He says he's back, but I don't see him back. Oh no, I don't need to do that. Cancel that before I mess myself up. But anyway, solo Guru for a second. I did want to say again on the Khris Middleton thing, because that's what you guys are telling me. I just don't want to go in the other direction. I don't want to swing the pendulum in the other direction where we get to this point now and it's, oh, Khris is well, again, we're here and he's the best and we got to roll with this and we can't trade. I saw somebody else in the chat. We can only trade for Levine now. It's Levine or nothing. I'm not there yet. And again, I'm not about to take tonight and go bash Khris Middleton because I thought he had a really good game. But again, I don't even know if I'd use the term washed. I wouldn't use that term. I would say, again, I just want to make sure we're clear as to how I feel about Khris Middleton, where we are on Khris. It's not that he's washed, it's that he may be washed. And what I'm telling you is, so just so we're clear, the jury is still out for me on that, on whether he is washed. And when I say washed, it's relative. It's like, for example, LeBron. Okay, I'll give you an example. LeBron James. LeBron James is not washed by any stretch of the imagination. LeBron James is still a very good basketball player. He's a very good basketball player. However, he's not a floor tilter, and this has been for the past 3 years probably. He's not a floor tilter anymore. Maybe past 2. He's not the LeBron of old. Every now and again, LeBron can still go out and get you 30. He can still almost a triple double. He can still do some incredible. He can still jump out the gym every now and then, but it's less and less, and it's fewer and further in between. That's where LeBron is right now. Now, again, this is relative because, of course, we know Khris Middleton is not LeBron James. But yes, every now and then, Khris Middleton can show you glimpses of old Khris and what he looks like and how he can do. My thing is, at this point in time, LeBron James makes money as if he's a number 1 overall option, as if he is a guy that can win you a championship. My thought process on it right now is LeBron James, as your best player, cannot win you a title. Now, there's a question about can Anthony Davis. That's a different question. That's a question about the Lakers. I'm not going to go into it, but that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. So again, it's relative. When we go to Khris Middleton, can he be your 3rd best player and win a title? Can he be that guy and continue? That's where I'm telling you the question is still there. I don't know. But every now and then he looks like a very good, hell of a 3rd option. And tonight was one of those nights where, yes, if you could guarantee me, and again, I'm not even saying 22. But if you could tell me that those are the type of nights that he could, and I see Nick C says Khris Middleton equals inconsistency, 22 points today, five tomorrow. IO says classic Khris, 13 points today, 2 tomorrow, 0 the next. Then he's Michael Jordan. If that's where we're going with it, then yeah, I'd like a little more consistency. I'd like to, or number one, like a little more consistency, or I'd like somebody who I know can do a lot of other things. Like Khris Middleton tonight, like what, again, and I hate this because it doesn't mean to turn into this Khris Middleton bash fest, and this is the last thing negative I'm going to say. It wasn't like we saw Khris Middleton lock nobody up tonight. It wasn't like we saw Khris Middleton get in the defensive stands, and that's what I'm more concerned about versus him scoring and putting up 20 points. I'm concerned about that because that's what you got to face in the East. When you talk about the Knicks, when you talk about the Celtics, we talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. So yes, tonight was a really good night. He played against an inferior opponent, and what I'll tell you is that's what he should do against a very bad team. That's what you should look like. Giannis should look like that against the Utah Jazz, a very bad team. Damian Lillard should look like that against the Utah Jazz, a very bad team. You've got to impact the game, and right now my only question about Khris is where is he impacting the game? Okay, so I do see Justin. Okay, so Justin's here. I gotta get him back into the actual stream. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I can do this on the fly here with everybody with everybody here in the chat. Can I do it? Can I produce on the money? Can I do it? Talk for me, Justin.
Yo!
Hey, there we go. Okay. All right, so we're back. Man, his internet crashed, Wi-Fi crashed, but we're back. So I was just going over, Justin, we were getting back into the vintage Khris Middleton conversation, and what I was, I don't know if you heard any of it, but my analogy was LeBron James at this point even though he has moments of greatness, and he's overall good. This is a relative conversation. LeBron is no longer LeBron. LeBron is not this LeBron. This version of LeBron is not even the version of LeBron that won a championship in LA. This version of LeBron is not Cleveland LeBron. This is not Miami Heat's LeBron, right? And so when you talk about relative to the Bucks situation, I'm asking, and I'm trying to figure out, because what I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to say he's washed or Khris Middleton's washed. What I'm saying is, I don't know in a playoff scenario, is this what we're going to give him Khris Middleton, or would I rather take the gamble on, because and this is what I'm trying to get at. If I'm not going to get 20 a night from Khris, 15 a night on efficient numbers from Khris with high assist rates and that, if I'm not going to get that on a consistent basis, would I rather roll the dice and get somebody else in who I believe could be a little more consistent, even if they may not have the championship pedigree that I may have seen prior in the past from Khris Middleton, and that they can do it? And I mentioned that what I didn't see tonight was Khris Middleton lock anybody up. I still know that I'm not about to get locked down defense with Khris Middleton. I don't think I'm almost guaranteeing you that I'm not going to get that. So for him to be effective, he's got to score. He's got to play a very high level offensive game. That's my question is, am I okay? And again, this is a question for John Horst, for you guys for the chat. Am I okay rolling the dice on that?
I'd say that I am. I thought he played better. He played better defense than the other night against the Clippers. I don't think it was.
Yeah, and again, this is Utah Jazz.
Yeah, well, but the thing is,
I might defend a couple of those guys.
Yeah, they got some young athletic dudes out there, man. Sensabaugh, man. I remember that dude for the Ohio State. He was killing my Badgers, man. Good basketball player. Some of them other dudes they got, man, they were young athletic dudes. The thing that was uplifting to me about tonight's performance is those same type of young athletic dudes against the Clippers was who Khris couldn't get his shot off against. It's a conundrum, right? Because Khris has meant so much to this franchise, and we talked about it on the last show. And I don't know if, Sammy before, I don't know if it was Sammy, the other dude, maybe it was some of them Utah fans. Someone hacked my internet and had me down midpoint, man. That's the way it goes sometimes, man. So we all shoot miss sometimes. But I think you're going to see a lot more of this, Khris, provided I don't think we're going to see this tomorrow night in Portland. I don't expect them to play. But when we go to San Antonio, I expect to see it again. If we can get this, because this bench has been one of the better scoring benches since Khris Middleton's return in the overall scope of things, right? So yeah, I don't know, man. I know Levine gives us a lot of stuff for the future and stuff like that. He's a great ball player too. I did see that he has a 15% trade kicker. So if he does come to the Bucks or whoever he goes to, his salary now bumps up to $50 million. That's one thing to factor in as well. It's a lot of stuff. I'm cool with Khris. I'm cool with Big Bob. I'm cool with a lot of these guys. But I'm not also upset if John Horst makes a move to get us to that championship. Because the only GM, I don't even remember the GM from the first championship, but the only GM to make a move to get us a championship has been John Horst.
You aren't incorrect about that. It's 100% right. And I disagree with this point from Kendrick, NKE Kendrick, who says Bucks front office wants to get under the second apron. I don't expect addition of another $40-50 million player. The other thing he says, I think the Bucks' number one priority would be to get under the second apron. I've heard some of that kind of talk and chatter before. I totally disagree with you that their first priority is to get under the second apron. I believe their first priority is to win a championship. That is what I believe their first priority is. I don't believe they're trying, hey, let's get under the second apron and then we'll just go from there. I don't think that's what they care about. I think the purpose of getting under the second apron is so that they can make more moves. Now, if they finish if they can do that and stay under the second apron, fine. But I believe that they will try to get put the best team together to win a championship today. And yeah, you want to get on the second apron so that you can aggregate salaries and do that type of thing, and you can set yourself up to a position to where you can make one of those bigger moves. I don't think they mind. Again, well, we know that they don't mind because the stories already come out that they wanted to go after Jimmy Butler, and if the whole strategy is, yeah, we don't even want to, we got to stay in the second apron, then these names aren't even coming up in the discussion. So I just disagree with that wholeheartedly. I really do think it's championship or bust. You don't go out here to Giannis wants to win. And so if they think they can upgrade the team and win, I think that John Horst will do it. I don't think the sole goal of this is to get under the second apron. Now, I do think, again, that is a goal. It is not the number one priority by any means, in my opinion.
So the first time we made that trade deadline trade for, was it DJ Augustin, DJ Wilson for PJ Tucker, it was a little bit more younger team, number one, but differently constructed. That was Khris and Chris's best years.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell me this year Khris is a better fit for the Bucks, completely agree. I do. But when you're talking about long-term playoff pushes for the next 3 to 5, I don't know how many more years Khris has left in the tank. And again, I'm not saying Khris Middleton is washed. I think he's proven that tonight that he's not completely washed.
No, yeah.
But to say that he's taken a step back from his prime, that's just being an honest Bucks fan. And I don't know, before I got disconnected, if people were jumping on you saying that you were bad mouthing Khris or whatever, because that's the last part I heard. But you said the other night you really loved Khris for what he did for the Bucks, and you thoroughly appreciated him. But at the same time, and I think I said it as well, we can't just win one with just the greatest player walking the earth right now. It's impossible. So I'm going to trust John Horst, man. There's not a lot of guys I've ever done that in my professional sports career as a fan, right? I've trusted Ted Thompson, and I trusted, what's my boy's name for the Brewers? Matt Arnold, but what's the guy before him? That's with the Mets now. Oh, man. One of y'all tell me in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, GM before Matt Arnold. One of y'all tell me. Those are the only 3 guys I trusted. And, John Hammond has made some great moves and all that stuff.
Well, he got you Giannis, so.
For sure. But you can't take away from them guys. But at the end of the day, man, we're here to win a championship. If the move is Bobby for Sharp, if the move is Bobby for God, dog, don't trade that boy for that Larry Nance
Larry
Jr.
Nance. I
Don't
think you
do
gotta
it.
say Larry Nance. Rob Will, those type of guys. Yeah, man, that's you. I'm with you.
Right.
That's what I'd love to see. And again, again, it's all with the goal of winning a championship. But again, tonight, again, yeah, I'll say this before we keep rolling. I think that again, Dame and Giannis have figured this thing out. Them being the highest scoring duo in the NBA shows me they have figured this thing out. And yeah, you have to find that third guy to ride with those guys that can be your number three, whether it's Khris, whether it's somebody else, because they have it. They have, and who knows when, because to me, Giannis is still in it. Giannis, I believe, is still in his prime for at least another 2 or 3 years. I'm talking about prime. I'm talking about prime,
Right.
like best of the game. He still had, because I think his game is going to rely depend upon his athleticism. You see him trying to expand his game some, which again I think is good with the mid range and that type of. But but his game is bully ball and getting to the rim and doing those type of things and being stronger, bigger, faster than his opponent. So he has to. David Stearns is who you're looking at. MK Kendrick says in the
Yeah,
chat.
he's right. Yeah.
But yeah, he is that right now. How's Dame Lillard? 34.
Yeah, yep. I think you're spot on.
Dame is 34. Dame still has it. There's you never know when Dame. I'll give you another guy. Okay. I'll give you another guy. James Harden, who just tore us up. James Harden is another guy who who on a frequent basis still goes. You can say what you want. On a frequent basis, James Harden can go crazy on you. Can go absolutely insane on you. And everybody would sit in this chat and say James Harden is not what he used to be. That's all I want people to do is, like you just mentioned it, be honest with yourself. James Harden is not the same guy and does that mean that he's completely washed? No. But
Yes.
do you think he could be, well, I get it, but do you think he could be James Harden? I don't think he could be your number 2 best player because he's not consistent enough to be your second best player and win a championship. I don't believe that anymore. That's what we're dealing with Khris when we talk about guys taking a step back, Khris Middleton. And so I've likened it to Dame, where if you have Dame who again, maybe some people say he's taking a step back. I don't, regardless of what you feel, he's right close to his prime, still there, right? You never know when he's actually going to take that step back. And so you're in the moment now. You've got, like, this year is a year you've got to go for it. And I think, again, the synergy is there. Giannis and Dame look so much better than they did last year. Together as a unit, I saw tonight probably some of the better ball movement we've seen all season. You talk about it all the time. Ball is better when it's popping around, and it did tonight. And again, Khris paid a lot of those off. But Dame, again, getting aggressive and again, not being afraid, not just selling for the 3-point ball, really helps his game a tremendous amount.
So I think Dame has, if Giannis has 2 to 3 years left in his prime, I think Dame has at least that left as well. And the reason why I say that, because he's one of the top 10 best shooters in all-time NBA history. I mean, depending on what year you were born in, you're going to pick a different guy. There's all types of guys, from Mark Price to Larry Bird to Steph Curry. So, insert the guy that is your choice. But Dame got to be somewhere in that top 10. And I think that's going to give you longevity. Quick John McGraw said the Bucks feel that they need to close that talent gap with the Celtics. I think the Celtics and Cavaliers are starting to come back to earth. I don't think that talent gap is as big as what we think it is. And I think right now, with Dame and Giannis playing like this, I think we're pretty close to equal to these guys, man. I mean, the Celtics just lost another one tonight to the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I don't know. I don't know how close. I think you do. Again, I just think you need another piece. If it depending on how Khris Middleton plays, and really that's why there's so much discussion, because I really do think it's dependent upon him. I'll go to another guy. I was just looking at highlights. Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant has lost again, and it's not like it's not like he sucks. Kevin Durant is still a very high level player in the league at 36. But Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is not 20. He is not the Kevin Durant that was in Brooklyn that almost single-handedly, if you will, beat the Milwaukee Bucks in round 2. He is not that guy anymore. Those are the subtle differences that I'm talking about. He's not that. He's not Golden State Kevin Durant. Like the Kevin Durant's last year of prime basketball was 2021 against the Milwaukee Bucks, going 7 games. Ever since then, he has not been. And again, it's little. It ain't. Yeah, he didn't fall off a cliff, but it's not this. But every year you go down a little bit and down a little bit, it looks worse and worse. And your margin for error gets that much more thin. So you come back the next year, and I believe that was the year they got blown out. I think they lost to the Celtics in like 5 games. The next year, if I'm correct. And then after that, I can't remember what happened. Then after that, you go to Phoenix and you get knocked out in the first round. Ever since that, it just goes downhill and downhill and downhill. No straight. Go ahead.
Remember, and you're absolutely right about all that. But remember one thing: the reason why Durant, and it's kind of like my point with Dame, why he's able to stay around longer, is because he is a hell of a shot creator.
Yes.
And I mean, just think about this, folks. That injury that KD suffered is the same injury that pretty much ended Dominique Wilkins as a human highlight reel. And he was a good role player like that. I mean, I think after the Achilles injury, I would argue that Gerald Wilkins was better than Dominique Wilkins at the end of his career, because the cat had one leg, but he still found a way to be serviceable for the teams that he was on. Kevin Durant is still a perennial player in this league and must-see TV coming off an Achilles injury, which is amazing. But you're right. He's not going – like, he'll get pissed off and dunk on you, but he used to be a threat like Ray Allen was when he was a Buck, where he'd take you off the dribble and dunk on you. That's not really that Durant any much. He's more mid-range to three-point line now.
Yeah, no, that's all. That's all I'm saying. And I believe exactly what No Strays. No, who is it? Well, quick draw McGraw says, where he says, if Middleton's not on top of his game, then there is a gap. Yeah, if you're telling me Middleton's on top of his game, yeah, I think you might be right. You're very close, or if not better, right at, you're right there. If he's not on top of the game, you're not right there. Charles Mills and the Celtics lost today. They did lose. It took, I think, how many threes did who was it? My man.
Dylan Brooks.
Dylan Brooks had
Brooks hit 10 of them joints.
He had 10 threes? That's ridiculous.
Well, ask No Strays, the Celtics fan. How many threes Dylan Brooks hit tonight, No Strays?
Oh,
since
yeah.
You talk about, talk about us
and then
Utah.
And then you got to pray, because Amen Thompson had Jaylen Brown touching earth to end the game for the game winner. He over there on the ground. Look, ain't nothing over there. Amen Thompson over there putting the mid range in on you. So you just take some of that. Tom Merrill says, "Where's Bobby at?" Again, I no clue where Bobby is. Just know that he's having some personal matters that he's having to take care of, and who knows what that is pertaining to. But the life of a celebrity, it may come out at some point, may not. Who knows? Man,
I just hope
Jaylen Brown in the baseline. Amen Thompson hitting the midi. Go ahead.
Shut. What we used to say back in the day, man, when you shoot them floater. So for Bobby, what I really hope that it's not is I hope they haven't informed him that you're gone.
I don't think that's it.
I hope whatever Bobby is like. Listen, man, every one of these dudes are people and they're a person, right? So whether it's and I mean, if it's Bobby Portis, if it's Jason Tatum going through something, if it's James Harden, if it's Dylan Brooks, like these are still people just like you and I are. So I hope and pray the best for Bobby, that whatever his struggle is and whatever his personal matter is, I hope that he gets through it on the right side, man. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. We agree there. Anything else? No, I'm with you. Anything else? Bucks beat the Jazz before we go to game balls. Bucks beat the Jazz. I told you we're gonna keep it short tonight. We want to go overdo it because we got another one tomorrow. Bucks beat the Jazz 125-110. Anything else before we go to game balls?
Man, I just wanted to say, man, it was a solid effort, man. Y'all cats in the chat. It's like when you're in school, bro, and like you're talking and you got these class clowns and you're in school, you try to pay attention to the lesson, but you got these class clowns.
Yeah.
Y'all in the chat, y'all the class clowns, and y'all throw me off, but keep me grounded more than anything. So I just want to say, I appreciate all of y'all, including you, No Strays, ENT, because even though you're a Celtics fan, I'm going to say this about you, dog. You are a 100 basketball fan. You give credit where credit's due. You show up when we win, and you show up when we lose. Hey, where Coach RJ at? Giannis had a great game. Khris Middleton had a great game. He ain't nowhere there. He'll probably watch it back. So, just shout out to you and all them dirty people in Philly, Coach RJ.
Yeah, they always waiting on something to happen, waiting on the Bucks to lose. That's when they come in. Game balls tonight. Okay, so we're doing this. What I'm giving mine. Who do I give mine for? Khris or JT?
You got two.
I give JT. Okay, JT's game ball tonight. I think that JT would. I think he would give it to. Honestly, I think he'd find a way to give it to Andre Jackson Jr. because I thought that the effort was that there was some effort there. Andre Jackson Jr. played 25 minutes tonight. We're used to seeing him play 13, 14. He got back in the second quarter. I think he played, he finished the game as well. Game wasn't out of reach, so he got to play some there, and he had some big plays, some big hustle plays. So I think JT would do Andre Jackson Jr. I'm gonna give my game ball to. Man, it's tough. You know what? I'll do Khris Middleton, man. I thought 22. The way we talked about him, the way I talked about him the other night. He came back. Even though Giannis and Dame had incredible nights, the call. People call. People want to know what you're gonna do. You come out and perform. That's how you shut people up. You ball. You don't gotta talk about. I would say you don't have to have fans come out and say, "Don't you believe in Khris Middleton? He can do it. His name's gonna go in the rafters. He's one of the GOATs." We all know that. Show me. Don't tell me what I watched 2021 just like y'all did. I've watched his highlights. I've seen him dribble we talked about it tonight. We see Khris Middleton dribble every dribble Khris Middleton's had in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform. I've seen it. I've seen every single one. You don't have to remind me of what Khris Middleton has done. What your girls, what Jan Jackson say? What have you done for me lately? That's what I'm asking for Khris Middleton. And tonight, lately, I saw him put up 22, 3 and 3, highly efficient, play good sound basketball, get to his spots, hit his jumpers, get open, knock down shot. That's what I'm looking for Khris Middleton. Don't tell me, show me. You show me tonight, Khris Middleton game ball.
But y'all might have thought the guru from Missouri. Show me state.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, man, so I got to go first from now on, man, because I had written down, I had Cash Money, Middleton, and I had Ajax.
Yeah,
so I'm going to switch mine.
Okay.
Oh, no, you good. That's why you the guru. I'm going to switch mine. We think on our feet. So my first game ball, Chris King game ball, I think we got to go to Taurean Prince, man. Eight assists tonight, solid defense, made the shots that he should have made, a lot of them and stuff like that. And then the other one, my game ball, I like to cut these things up any way possible. So I'm going to give half of it to greatest player walking the earth right now, Mr. Antetokounmpo, and the other half to, we got to go to the greatest duo in the game, Dame Lillard. And then, but shout out to the big three. Someone said in the chat, 92 points from our big three, man. Awesome game, man. Yep. Just phenomenal, man. Let's get this thing back on the winning track. We're 1-1 on this road trip. Let's go.
No Stray says game ball got to go to Doc Rivers for putting out some good game tape of Khris right before the trade deadline. I was like, got the trade deadline tape coming out from Khris as well. So again, that's good. Again, but it was good to see. All jokes aside, it was good to see Khris Middleton play well. All jokes aside, you know where else is good to be?
Curly's
Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. You got to get out to Curly. Got to get out to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out there in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Great food, great eats, great drinks, great everything. If you go out there on a nationally televised Milwaukee Bucks game, you know what you're getting, Justin?
You get some great Bucks tickets.
No. If you go out there for a nationally televised game,
hold on.
You're going to get
$3 beer.
You're going to get $3 bottles and pints is what you're going to get. Now, if you go out there on a Wednesday night or a Thursday night, you know what you're going to do?
We're gonna play some bingo and trivia.
There you go. You're going to play bingo. You're going to play trivia. If you do well in bingo and trivia, do you know what you get?
We're going to get some good Bucks tickets.
Good Bucks tickets. Section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2. That's where you can be. Tell them the Guru sent you. Tell them the Cream City Crossover sent you out to Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Enjoy yourself. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, proud sponsor of the Cream City Crossover. Before we go to the look around, let's actually look around Twitter. And let's see what Twitter had to say today. I'm going to assume
today?
I'm going to assume that also before we do that, I mentioned on Twitter and I saw people respond back. Dave Cohn, again, everybody takes this is the world we live in now, where if you say something positive about somebody, it's like somehow it means that it's negative about somebody else. I'm not trying to be negative about Lisa. I'm just saying I'm cool with Dave Cohn. If he was the announcer, if you let him, gave him the spot, that's all I'm saying. I thought Dave Cohn does really good. I like him. I like Dave Cohn on the broadcast. I do prefer him over Lisa again, but it's not a compare. I think Lisa's got much better. I will say that from my taste, from my perspective. But Dave Cohn definitely is I think he's really good.
No, you're absolutely right, and I prefer Lisa over. I don't know who I prefer over. I think they're both great.
Anybody but Steve Novak on color.
Hey, chill out, you. Brown Deer legend. I will say this, though. On some of these drives home, and you remember when I went to the UW-Milwaukee Longwood game, listened to Dave Kane the entire way home, met the guy in person. Man, we need to get Dave Kane on. That'd be great.
I love it. He's
just a phenomenal guy, man. And he does a great job of when you cannot get to the TV screen of painting that picture in your head while you're driving or while you're walking or while you're doing whatever. And that's why I think it translates to the video broadcast so great. So shout out to No Strays Entertainment. When we're in the Eastern Conference Finals this year, maybe we could put Marcus, we could put Lisa, and we could have Dave Kane, all three of them on a TV broadcast, and we don't have to listen to these national dudes.
I will say, and I like Dave Kane a lot. But what's the name? Was
NBA Ted?
Yeah, Ted. Now you talk about painting a picture. I mean, Ted Davis paint a picture. And
we need to get him too.
Yeah, that would be great. And tonight, Bucks winning 125-110. He would say it's in the bank and earning interest as the Bucks get the dub.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Twitter and see what they're talking about. At RMill53 says we trolled way too much, but good game overall. At the Wisconsin Kid, he always just commented. It says, solid win. Dame and Giannis' chemistry is at an all-time high. Good to see Middleton bounce back. Need more reps of Giannis at the 5. Kind of looks shaky at times. I agree with that. NYC Randy says, games like today are why I still think we got to go trade for Levine. This is a great game for Khris, but our third best guy being on a minutes restriction and can't close out games with us, this will bite us badly. Problem is Khris probably can't play 35, 40 minutes. At Wayne Day Wander Around 1 says that effing Flagrant 2 is the weakest shit I've ever seen. At Jay Horva,
The what?
The Flagrant 2.
Oh.
The Flagrant 2.
Is that the Colin McGregor stuff?
No, he's talking about the Flagrant 2 from Ajax.
Oh, okay, got you. My bad. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, we're talking
Bucks After Dark.
Conor McGregor did. Conor McGregor, man, I forgot. Conor McGregor made a guest appearance, which is interesting as well. It wasn't awkward, but it was just because it was like so unexpected that he like just kind of was there promoting whatever the hell his energy drink, and then he like wanted Brooke Lopez to stand up. I don't know what it was. I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. It was just odd because like I just didn't expect it, and he's just there, doing his, hey, whatever the hell he does. But I like Conor McGregor. At Jay Horvath says, not getting excited about 22. They did what they needed to do against the worst team in the Western Conference. I'm intrigued to see Grant and Williams tomorrow. Still think those two are the best rotational fits to replace Khris and Bobby. At Miss VB4 says Middleton's still good. And then Sunk345 says it would have been a blowout if not for Jordan Clarkson magnet ball. I agree with that too. Jordan Clarkson got off and did a good one. Tom Merritt, I have a question for you. Who does radio when Dave's on TV? Does anybody know?
Gabe Neitzel.
Gabe Neitzel. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was Justin Garcia.
He does the home games. I think like Justin should really get to travel with the team and stuff like that and do it with him when Dave can't. When we know we're gonna do it. I hope Lisa's okay, man. She's out. I mean, you still got them viruses and stuff like that going on. But
is that what's wrong with her? She sick?
I'm just speculating.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's going around college basketball. I mean, the thing that we got to realize as Bucks fans is just being from the city of Milwaukee or Wisconsin, we have great play-by-play guys pretty much in all of our sports, whether it's Marquette basketball, whether it's Wisconsin basketball, whether it's the Packers, whether it's Wisconsin football. I mean, we don't got to talk about the Brewers, do we? I mean, Bob Uecker, can you get any better than that? So we're pretty fortunate and best, man. We've had some great people come through to Zora Stevenson. I thought she did a great job, man.
She did. I went my guy Ted. Was Ted Hughes? No, what's the man's name? Is that
I don't know
was
what
it Ted?
happened, man.
Was it Teddy?
He was
Was it
on.
Ted? Was that his name?
It was Teddy. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
Brewers. He did Brewers for a while and Bucks.
Yeah.
Man, he's a good dude,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, I know Lisa adopted a kid. But I mean, I thought that was a while back. I mean, maybe she's still
But
doing
she was on the Clippers broadcast though, so that's why I thought like
when today?
no, the Clippers
Oh, the
broadcast
other
when
night.
they
Yes,
played them. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I tell you this: anybody can have whatever opinion about Lisa. She's 100 times better than Doris Burke. If she can't be a Buck, put her national. She does a great job on college basketball too. Sorry, I keep cutting
Lisa. You know what? Lisa is very good on college basketball. And you know who else is very good on college? Who's the other black guy they used to bring in sometimes?
Steve Bardo.
Bardo is trash on Bucks on. But
Yes.
When I heard him doing college, I was like, oh, he is good. He's good. So yeah, again, some people just have to stay in their lane. But he was terrible doing Bucks. He's worse than Novak doing Bucks. But then, like I said, I heard him on a, like, I don't know if it's Fox Sports or whatever. I heard him doing that. I was like, oh, that is good. And you know what's crazy? You know who got the most hate? Since doing this, for no good reason, man. Gus Johnson got so much hate, man. I don't know. Y'all was hating because y'all were hating because he was keeping it real. And you know, I always gonna respect people.
Listen, man,
they keep it real.
You grow up on Jim Paskey and John McLaughlin rooting for the team, man. We don't want to hear that. Oh, LeBron with a dunk on Giannis. I don't want to hear that stuff, man. I don't want to hear it. We understand it was a great play. Marcus Johnson gets into it a little bit, but he's always forgiven because he's a legend.
Marcus is hilarious. He's always telling jokes on the broadcast. He's good. The good stuff there. Bucks win at 125-110. Let's get into the look around tonight. We'll be semi-quick on. Go ahead.
When you do that look around, can you give us some Clippers points tonight? The little box score for the Clippers. I just want to see what they did tonight too.
Yeah, we can. Bucks beat the Jazz 125-110. Cavs beat the Pistons 110-91. Lakers beat the Hornets 112-107. Raptors beat the Pelicans tonight. The Knicks won 43-106 over the Grizzlies. The Heat, no Jimmy Butler, 125-119 over the Magic. Double overtime. Kings beat the Nets. The Rockets we talked about beat the Celtics last second shot from Amen Thompson. Timberwolves beat the Hawks tonight 100-92. Bulls beat the Nuggets tonight. Interesting score, 129-121 over the Nuggets. I think Joker had a big night. The Mavericks 130-108. And the Suns did beat the Clippers 111-109. Let's look at the score. Norman Powell 23. James Harden 24, 10 and 6. Zubac 25 and 16. Kawhi Leonard 17 and 5 tonight. Looks like the biggest issue for the Clippers was they had 8 bench points total. Amir Coffey had 6, and Terrence Mann had 2 bench points there. And then you look at Phoenix, but Phoenix went only 8 deep tonight with Grayson Allen and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal only 9 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 of 8 tonight. 1 of 5 from 3. He was a plus 10, but Bradley Beal only 9 points tonight.
Can we stick on Beal for a second?
Go ahead. What you got on Beal?
Hey, so I don't know if you saw it, but there's a lot of reports going on right now that said that he would not rescind that trade offer to go to Chicago Bulls like you and I were talking about on the previous post game. And that kind of kills a lot of this 4 or 5-way deal type stuff if he won't rescind that trade deal to where they want to go. It looks like it's only Miami.
Yeah, and I think there was this disconnect that like he would that was my whole thing was I was saying why would Chicago want him, but again it sounds like the same thing as Bill's like why would I want Chicago, but yeah the Billy Donovan connection maybe not enough to get to make him or to even have him intrigued by going to Chicago. Does say he doesn't want to be cold in a chilly place that doesn't win, which again I get it. Why would you? So
it's cool.
There's a lot of questions about what's going to happen, and I think the deadline's going to pick up. I think they're going to give it maybe today is Monday. Maybe you give it the rest of this week, and if that Jimmy Butler news doesn't break, then I think you start to see teams start to move forward with what they're going. Because I think everybody's waiting for the Jimmy Butler. You're holding on to assets because you're like, well, I may need to get involved in the Jimmy Butler trade since they're going to need 4 or 5 teams to get it done. Maybe I need to hold on to a couple guys. Maybe I'll get a draft pick, come my way through that, whatever. And so you're sitting on players, waiting on something to fall. But yeah, at some point, and maybe even starting this week, I think you'll see teams say, hey, I don't know if this is getting done. We've got to start moving.
Charlotte Hornets has also said that they're willing to facilitate
Right.
as well. I think you got the Toronto Raptors in that. Chicago, obviously. There's a lot of teams that want to move a lot of pieces. Hey, man, got to trust John Horst. I know, homie from Boston thought that we should take those 3 first-round picks, but I think the way that it was said from the Chicago Bulls that they will take nothing less than 3 first-round picks, and they would be willing to take Bill's contract. Like, one thing we got to factor in, and not you specifically, Trey, but everyone involved, $50 million is a lot of money for a guy. What did you say? He had 9, 8, 3 or something like that? Like,
No, it is. Yeah.
50 mil, you got to be 20-6 at least.
Right. Yeah, and especially in today's times where you talk about the second apron and all the different, tax and luxury tax cap penalties that may come with it. Yeah, no, you need somebody that's going to ball and give you something there. And then in the other news, your Jimmy Butler obviously is suspended indefinitely at this point. Went to shoot around, was told that he wasn't going to start, and walked off the court. And so Jimmy Butler is doing what Jimmy Butler does. It is unfortunate that this is what's happening at this point. I think both sides have some to blame. Jimmy's being unprofessional. I think that the Miami Heat mismanaged the entire situation.
Absolutely.
But that's where we are, and I think it's both parties' best interest to get up out of there and make something happen. But again, it's very limited in who wants him, what they can do, what teams can do, as far as acquiring him because of his big number as well. So yeah, I don't know how this ends up. I do think that at some point, if you have to take pennies on the dollar, to me, if you're Miami, you just do it, bite the bullet, because you got to get him. You got to get him out of there. You got to get him out of there.
Send that boy to Washington like the homies always trying to give us Jordan Poole in Milwaukee. Send him to Washington for Jordan Poole. Listen, I just want to take 1 second before we close tonight and really last appreciation post for Cash Money, Khris Middleton. This is a guy who was an all-star for us, who was the second best player in the finals. He's been relegated to the bench, whether it's injury, whatever it was. And we just see a guy, Jimmy Butler, who's been relegated to the bench, quit on his team because he didn't get a max. And this is exactly why I did not want this cat in Milwaukee. Next time I want to see him in Milwaukee is when he comes back with Jay Crowder and the rest of them boys for a Marquette reunion. Other than that, we don't want you in the mill, Jimmy. Love you to death for Marquette, but we'll need you on the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate situation, and he's exacerbating and not making it any better by any means. Then I did want to ask you about last night. Obviously, you saw what happened with the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills. Other game, Philly and Washington, got a little, a little out of hand as Philly put up 50 plus to finish that one out. But I guess it's one of those things where Pat Mahomes is too good. He's him. And you have to, it's the sooner you accept it and recognize it and just let it go. Hey, this dude is one of the he is chasing Brady. Right now, he is, if he gets the 3-peat, I mean, he's neck and neck. And then, what does Brady have? How many does he have? 7. I don't even know that I don't know that you need. I mean, if you. So how many Pat have right now? 3?
Yeah, 3. Let's go to Curly's. Got a little trivia for it. You know who the last and I might be wrong, and the chat will certainly correct us. You know who the last quarterback was at 3-peat?
Last quarterback to 3-peat. Did somebody in the Packers?
Of course, if it's me asking.
Oh yeah, so it was I don't know who's the old school Packer quarterbacks. One of them.
How you forget? Like,
was
one of the Bart Starr?
Bart Starr, yeah, my bad. That's people born in 1920s. My bad. I just
yo. He said
my bad.
Your pop's gonna send you a text.
Bart
You
Starr.
gonna talk?
That's what I was thinking of. His name was Bart Starr. I knew that. I knew it was Bart
Your
Starr.
pop's gonna be like, Trey, when you was at the crib when I was raising you and we had the Rawhide Boys Ranch trade the car in and you don't miss the Bart Starr commercials.
Yeah. No, I got you. Bart
No.
Starr, man, yeah. And it's funny because they kept trying to say like, oh, there hadn't been a three-peat. And it was, I saw the stat. It was like, yeah, no, they've done it before.
Yeah, so man, listen, Pat Mahomes is on an incredible run, man. Hey, look, man, shout out to Billy Schmidt too, our guy. He brought up a great point on the 9 to noon show on 97.3 The Game Today when he was talking about the only dynasty that hasn't been rooted against the way that No Strays Entertainment Patriots were, the way these Chiefs were, the way Steph Curry and them got was Michael Jordan's Bulls.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Yes.
That's crazy. Am I rooting against Pat Mahomes? Not really. I don't know. I need to ask you, do you have room for another toddler? Because I had a crazy parlay. I'm listening to my grandson. He's like, cash out, Papa. So I cash out. And then the Chiefs go ahead on and win that game. And I'm like, doggone it. That was 150, bro.
Man, yeah, nah, you gotta believe in Pat, man. He is one of the ones. You could be upset about, No Strays talking about, Tom Brady all you want. But he's a dog. He's inevitable. And I don't think people show me up and down that play. I didn't see where he had a definitive first down at all. Josh Allen. So I thought it was close. Matter of fact, the more I look at it, I don't think he got there. I thought he was short when I saw it. The replays I saw did not change my mind at all. I thought he was short. I thought that was the correct call. Pat make the plays he needs to make when they need to be made. And again, I think it's gonna be another exciting Super Bowl. And I say this, if the Chiefs can slow down Saquon Barkley, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. They will three-peat. If they can slow him down at all, they will three-peat. They will do this again. But I think it's gonna be a fun game. And then just beautiful job Spagnuolo with the blitz off the edge to they sent that. And the crazy thing is, Josh Allen still got off he throws up a prayer, still catchable pass. Again, all that's tough because you're breaking the dynamics of the play. So I get that's all very tough to have happen. But those are the type of plays you have to have against the Chiefs. And again, to beat the Chiefs, I think that Phillies will have to win going away. If this thing's close, it's just one of the things. Pat Mahomes are close games. They find ways to do it. They found another way. Andy Reid and them boys. So again, I think that's my pick. I think the Chiefs are gonna win it. I think it'll be a close game, but field goal somewhere in between, one score game, and I feel like Chiefs will find a way to get a dub.
So the thing that scares me a lot about so first of all, was he there? Was he not? I mean, clearly I wear glasses. I thought he was there. But even if he wasn't, like, this is the Buffalo Bills. This is what you've executed all season, all playoffs long. Short yardage situation.
Mm-hmm.
And you've picked it up tremendously. And you didn't do it there. You didn't do it there. Don't leave it in the referee's ability to impact the game. Run through it. Hey, look at our guy 34 for the Bucks. He runs through people and he lays it in and he makes sure he makes the and one. And that's what I felt like Josh Allen didn't do. I thought Kincaid could have caught the ball. Catch was difficult. Hey, man, you one of the best tight ends in the game. You got to catch that ball. Point blank, period, in my opinion. So when I'm looking at this Eagles matchup, and I wish JT was on here because I want to see what his boy Slay going to do against insert front of the name Chiefs wide receiver because he'll be cooked. But Philly, I'm really worried about them because of Jalen Hurts' knee. And I don't know how healthy it is. And you got – this is different, right? You got Leo Chanel on that. You got Chris Jones. You got some dogs on that defense that can make plays when plays are needed to be made. I know we look a lot at this Patrick Mahomes, and sorry, no strays. He's a great quarterback. He's probably arguably the best one walking the earth right now. But that defense makes a lot of plays too.
Yeah.
I'm going to go – well, we'll wait for predictions. We got a couple weeks, man. So
we got time.
Next week's going to be crazy. It'll be Bucks After Dark for me. I got a work trip. I'll be in the Palm Desert of California.
There you go.
But we're going to be locked in, dog.
There you go. That's not a bad place to be. Todd, get the last comment tonight, says if Khris isn't traded, he'll opt into his deal next year. Bucks will rip it up and extend him, give him more long-term money, more like a 3-year, $55 million deal, which would be much easier to move later. I agree. I think that, if he opts in. Yeah, I think that's if he's still on the team and he plays well this postseason. So it all is dependent because again, if he doesn't play, that's the thing though. If you talk about if he's not traded this year, if he doesn't play well, he's gone. I think he's got. There's no. You don't play well this postseason. If you keep him, he doesn't play well. I don't think. Well, I don't know.
Caleb Love just hit a 3-quarter shot to send the game to overtime. Arizona going to overtime with Iowa State. I'm sorry.
Crazy.
Completely.
We
up tonight.
3/4 course, crazy. But yeah, no, I'm with you. So I just think if Khris Middleton does not play well, they will. He's going to be moved. Period. I don't think you're going to be able to get away with. They'll give him now. If he plays well, I agree. Maybe you do give him a smaller deal and try and extend this thing and keep pushing. But again, all that remains to be seen. Again, Bucks' biggest deals. They gotta go for it this year. See how far you can get. See what you can do. And again, we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be very fun. Got just about another week or so for trade deadlines. Trade deadline's the 6th. So week and couple days. Go ahead.
One last question about if he opts in and all that stuff, man. So if we get to that situation, it was more half court. Sorry, a little bit past half court, but it's still crazy, man. It'll be SportsCenter #1 top 10. Anyways, if he opts in, so does that mean Khris is what your Pat Connaughton was during those championship run and Eastern Conference Finals runs and all that stuff? Are you cool with Khris Middleton being what Pat Connaughton was 2 or 3 years ago at 12 or 13, 14, 15 million a year, whatever he is?
Well, no, his opt-in what is his opt-in? Is it like
I'm talking about with the extension, with the 3 year.
If you find a way to if he stays and you give him an extension, yeah, I think you're okay with that. But again, that means you're dependent on another year of him playing at a very, very high level. And if he doesn't, yeah, I don't think he can opt in. I think you're still gonna be looking at whatever options are trade wise. He's an expiring contract. I think you can be able to find a way to move him unless he's just so cooked. Unless he has more off-season surgeries, that are upon the horizon, then yeah, it is what it is. But again, it's another reason why if you're afraid of that, you move him now. But we'll see what they want to do, and tries not to keep pushing, but to make the contract tradable and to get on the second. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, if they, yes, again, if that's what happened, but again, I think it more depends on how he plays versus whether he just if he can opt in, opt out, whatever he wants to do. If he does not play well, the Bucks I think they will find a way to move him because I think their biggest thing at the end of the day is trying to win a championship. That's all they're about is keeping Giannis happy, and Giannis stay happy, wants to win a title. If Khris Middleton is either hurt or is hampered or somehow cannot play up to his capabilities, I think that will be enough for Giannis to say, okay, we can get him up out of here, and the organization to do that. And guess what? You give him a nice tribute video when he comes back from wherever the hell he comes from.
We know how you love those tribute
videos. Now again, Khris Middleton's a guy who deserves one. Yes, Khris Middleton is a guy you give a tribute video to. If Jeff Teague was still in the league, no, you don't get a tribute. That's how these things go. You don't just like these guys that just get tribute videos for like Malik Beasley shouldn't get a tribute video coming back tomorrow. That's what I'm talking about. Like who was it that got? I think Gary Trent got a tribute video in
Toronto.
No. Maybe it was. I think it was. Was it Gary Trent that got a tribute video in Toronto? I think it was. I think Gary Trent got it. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. Like, no. You're going to get a tribute video for... No. Pat Connaughton, when we trade back... No, you don't get a tribute video.
Pat get a tribute video.
No. See, I wouldn't give one to Bobby Portis either, but I know they would. I wouldn't give Bobby Portis a video. I get a tribute video.
His home's been up for sale a long time. This is nothing new. He moved. He's still in Milwaukee County, I believe. I think you give one to Pat. I think you give one to Bobby. I think you give one to anyone. I mean, we gave one to PJ Tucker, and he was here half a year.
PJ was instrumental in the championship. That's a guy you give. Like I'm talking about. You don't win nothing without PJ Tucker.
You don't win nothing without Pat Connaughton. Remember,
I think Pat Connaughton. I think you can replace Pat Connaughton and figure out a way to win. Yeah, I think you can find another. I think you can find another Pat Connaughton to win your championship faster than you can find another PJ Tucker in that moment to win a championship. I'll tell you why. Because Pat Connaughton's been back on the team and you ain't won since. PJ Tucker ain't been on the team. You ain't, and you haven't won. So
And PJ Tucker ain't won nothing either.
But that's
and
fine.
he might rally. But listen, when no one else was hooping on the offensive end, it was Giannis and it was Pat Connaughton against the Brooklyn Nets when KD almost broke our heart.
And that's also why Bobby Portis can't get a tribute video, because Bobby Portis wasn't there against Brooklyn either.
He was there against Atlanta though when it mattered.
That's fine. So
everybody on the 21 championship.
Everybody get one. Yeah, give
with the exception of Justin Jackson and Jeff T. They can't have
Brent
one.
Forbes get one too.
No, chill out, dog. That's too far.
Right, so see, if without him, do you beat the? I don't
know. No light skinned dudes can get. Hey, let me tell y'all something. Since we Bucks after dark. Now we got to go. Trey gonna kick me off here. I don't want Larry Nance Jr. because he's light skinned. All right, I'm done.
See. You will see.
Too many of us is a problem.
Too many. Can't have too many on one squad. Man, as long as Thanasis and Brandon Jennings front row every playoff game, I think the Bucks will be fine.
Oh, Thanasis is hooping now. You see the pick and roll?
No, what hooping where?
Look on Twitter on the Thanasis show. He back hooping.
Where?
He about to come back.
Oh, like in an open gym? He ain't like. I thought you mean like he signed like a contract in like Germany or something.
He coming back. He about to be number 15. Cameron and Mace about to fry us up again, but he coming back.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that. He can come back, sit behind the bench and coach and do all that stuff. 125-110 Bucks beat the Jazz tonight. Get the dub. We're back at it tomorrow night. Bucks after dark. Ooh, late start time tomorrow night. So we hope you join us. It's going to be fun. I want to thank you guys for listening and joining us as you always do. You always make it fun and talk to us. So, again, we really appreciate it. If you could hit that like button if you liked anything that happened tonight, we greatly appreciate it. Could you follow and subscribe? And when you follow and subscribe, make sure you tell a friend to tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover, the best Milwaukee Bucks live post-game show. Your home for Bucks coverage after every Milwaukee Bucks game. I want to thank our sponsors tonight, the Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. Go ahead, Justin.
One last thing. First person, get your Twitter again, Cream City Crossover, whatever. Inbox your address. You get a Bobby Porter's picture.
Yeah, we can't find the guy. We can't find the guy. So send. You go to our Cream City Crossover Twitter. We got to give it away at this point. So go to Cream City Crossover Twitter and send your address. We will we'll and whoever the first person is, we will just send it to that person. So do that. Get in contact. Matter of fact, if you can find somebody's address and you can send an address, you will be the one who gets the picture. So we'll see how that works. Let us know. Maybe I'm like a scavenger hunt now. Find a way to get me your address. We will send you a picture signed 8 by, what is it? 4 by 8? 8 by 10.
I still got it right here.
Okay, show them the picture. Here's this. For everybody still looking on the stream, this is your opportunity. 8 by 10 signed Bobby Portis. There it is. You get that. Boom. Championship belt. Larry O'Brien. The printed sign. Send your addy in one of the inboxes. We'll get it to you. Only got one, so first come, first serve. Yeah. Again, want to thank Curly's for sponsors tonight. Again, appreciate everybody. Yeah, that's about it, man. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Guru Trick Officer III.
Justin.
If I am the enemy, it is only because I did.